Merry Christmas to Maria. Merry Christmas to Maria. Merry Christmas to Mama Maria. Maria Christmas to you. Coming to you, people of the Mother, 10/31/2025. Saint Lou is Lucifer, Alleluia, Shiva, father and husband of the beautiful Mama Orsic. Yes, Merry Christmas to everyone who loves Maria. And very, very happy birthday to Maria. And we wish you 4.5 million more. And on this very special day, because for unto us a daughter is given, unto us a beautiful dancer is born, and she shall rule over the world of dance, from hip-hop to ballet to Siberian shaman belly dancing, all out energy war dance, rain dance. The dance on top of the heads of our enemies, whom we curse this day. And our enemy, of course, is the evil empire, the most unmagical, boringest empire ever. Surely the empire of iron and steel. And I love guns. And I love big trucks. And why do we direct our anger to these people? They're the only people on a meta general level that could have stopped this. The white American Christian could have stopped the end of the world, which is going to happen. And the end is the world is ending all the time for Palestinians and other people all around the world who are subject to the awful empire, the empire of steel and bullets. And I love machines, I love motors. You know what I want to have magic with? My truck. I just love that truck. I mean, and, this is the godless man of Western civilization that believes in Yahweh and thinks that Yahweh is God over everything, which is absolutely historically fucking motherfucking, totally fucking, completely fucking retarded. As my great black brother Elijah told me in 1997, that man ain't no more God than any of us. God is an abstraction that you think are so clever and smart. You read the Bible. Hey, did you read all the other 5 million myths out there? Stupid ass white N-word. And join with us, our people, in a chorus of anger. How dare you take my money and drop bombs on people because they don't believe what you believe. And they have every single right to their land, their homes, everything else. And that is, as an Irish person sits in St. Louis, Missouri. And why the fuck am I not in Ireland? Well, the practical reason is the British were starving people to death. And the practical reason why the British were starving people to death, well, the financiers had taken over Britain and the bankers didn't want to work, so somebody has to work. And there's just not enough to go around. So you know what? The Irish, the British said, let me tell you, black people, listen to me. The English, they wrote a paper, they made a declaration. Irish people are niggers. Okay? They might look like us, sound like us, but they're less than human. Let me tell you, black people, this is the truth. The white race is more evil in my eyes, than any race will ever be. I think it's horrible what and it wasn't so much white people, though, you have to understand. But it was white people, because they're always posing as Jews, But I just want black people to know some white people are fully aware and completely historically understand that there's nothing that is possibly worse to do to a human being than the British did to the Irish or the Christians did to the pagans. And it doesn't matter what anyone else says. We've come on behalf of every last innocent person that was killed for not believing in Christianity. You understand how stained you are, how fucking disgusting you are for wanting to buddy up with people who killed your ancestors, who tortured them, who brought them the greatest of misery, despair, depression. How dare you carry around a Bible? How dare you go in a church? If you're Irish, you are an involuted monkey. You should go back to the jungles of Africa, not black people. You're fucking... The very mention of Jesus shows how every fucking white Irish person is disgustingly disrespectful of their ancestors. And we're not going to let you go, you fucking niggers. You're the niggers. After all they did to our people, after all the torture and murder, you join them. Because let me tell you, black people, you know why white people have so much money? Is they love money more than anyone. They love their house and their truck and their bank account and their money. That's what's very most important to them. They'll fuck over any white person lower than them that's not part of their church, their community, for the security, for the financial security of their own personal family, because they have no faith in this Jewish God. It's all a ruse. It's all a hoax. And we've come to bring Allah's hammer down on you, America, the great Satan. You want to play this game? You're Darth Vader, and the Muslims are Luke Skywalker. Yeah. You like myths? You like myths? Well, the real myth is the Jewish supremacists are all around you. And it really translates to, it translates for the Gentile Goyim, they're the ones with the money, nigga. When they bend over, we say lick, we lick. And they feed us those dirty dollars, and we munch them, munch them, munch them. We don't care if our kids get cancer. We don't care if people's kids are lit on fire with bombs. We'll make more. It's all about the prophets. That's what a Jewish prophet is, a spiritual prophet that prophesies. It's a dollar sign. It's predicting the market. It's giving you an investment advice. You know? And like Maria said, once and for all, we're going to condemn every single person making money off their money. In the golden age, you'll be in prison, a mental prison, that you were so selfish like a little rat. If you really had concern for yourself, you'd be concerned about your mind, about your soul, about your essence, about who are you. But you only concentrate on the material world, and you think everything's going to be all right in the next world because you believe you're a winner. But when you win in one world, you absolutely lose in another. Because, my nigga, it's not always as above, so below. Not in a simulation. You know what the above is? Allah, Lucifer, Yahweh, Almighty, Jah Rastafari, in this age was the last avatar, along with Miguel Serrano. Who are the gods of this age? Adolf Hitler, Miguel Serrano, and Haile Selassie. And see, it's not your free will choice. It's your free will choice to deny reality and insist that 2 + 2 is 5, but I'm going to stay with the people who are like, no, what happened is what happened. What's real is what's real. As it is, so be it. And this is all calculated in context as it is relevant to reality. And do you want the truth? Well, the truth was, and do you understand the truth when you hear it? The truth was, is, and will always be that the end of the world already happened in 1948, and it had nothing to do with the prophecies of the Bible, the end times, the return of Jesus. It's all been proved false. It's all been proved in the future to be a complete hoax. The fucking N-words waiting on Jesus are the same N-words waiting on Frodo. Waiting on Krishna, waiting on Shiva, waiting on Odin, waiting on Thor. Not understanding a book is a book. Like Maria explained to me, nature's fucking wild, uncontrollable. The 4 elements, right, don't have personality. They are the elements of random, wild energy. And the person who can mentally, magically, through concentration and meditation, harness those powers, filter them, funnel them through themselves for the betterment the betterment, for the uplifting of everyone who's good. If that's not possible for you, it's not possible to move on. It's not possible to carry on. And what will happen is a stagnation, a arrested development. How many of us see a arrested development spiritually in people close to you? And we've tried to give you, if you really love these people, I mean true love these people, maybe I mean AMOR these people, love without death these people, you surely wouldn't let them die. What we, a spiritual arrested development is a chronic disease. It ends in death. It's fatal. It's fatal. And this truly, this is truly like the last grip your enemy has on you. When you will let go of the God, family, country, fake matrix paradigm and really embrace who you are and embrace the adventure of following your true self, right? And for real, before we go any further, let's again pray to our true selves. This is what we do, and we're, okay, and I want to address the word pray, like a predator prays. It has to be that way. You have to be hungry for this. You can't be wishy-washy about magic. It's not Jesus. It's not fake. It's not Frodo, right? It's not a movie. This is the thing that's outside of time. That's magic. This is the thing outside of the illusion. Not God. Another world like this one without God. Because the worlds don't need God. And if you don't go as a warrior without God and willing to go beyond the gods, then you're not the dreamer of the greatest dream. And that's our real goal. To become the dreamer of the greatest dream. The true self, and this be our little prayer. Mighty over me, our true self, hallowed be thy name. Give us this day, true self, the food of the gods. And true self, help us, strengthen us to be consciously aware that you're me, I'm you. You're the mushroom, the thing beyond all things. I'm the mushroom and my ancestors, and I am you. These three things, the true self, the mushroom, and the ancestors. Let me just say it one more time clearly. Who's your ancestors? People of your race, right? No. Who's your ancestor? People of your bloodline, right? There is no bloodline. You're in a fucking illusion. And people aren't even born through female wombs anymore. There's no bloodline. There's only the physical bloodline, always what it was, always will be what it was in objective reality. A 50-50 chance. pure space, chance, and time. Nothing magic, nothing magic, nothing magic. Do you hear me? Magic's not passed on through the material world. Magic is passed on by vibration, by song, by frequency match, if you want the exact words. Your ancestors are the people back home, your friends who vibrate most like you. The people in the 100 billion of all humanity, of any race, any color, shit, any religion, because religion's just a practice. Any human being, animal, or plant that frequency vibrationally matches you is your ancestors, according to Maria Orsic, who is of the cast of Hyperborean Venusian artist class, because she's the best dancer ever. Yes, yeah. Merry CHRISTESS-MAS to the Shamaness Supreme Mama. And by request from Lou, he said, Joseph, can you just do the best you can to tell everyone how much you and I love Maria. She's certainly the best Scorpio dancer. Something so naturally otherworldly, like a scorpion or a dragon or, some kind of lizardish. And, I'll always love her for saying, I hate that processed church motherfucker David Icke. Try to blame reptiles for everything that's bad. That's as bad as blaming Eve. This whole psychology of they mixed their DNA with, or should I talk like him, Mike? They mixed their DNA with reptiles. And these reptiles are from worlds where they can't breathe or exist. And someone might say, well, what do you believe Neil deGrasse Tyson? No. I was taken out of my body. And you can call me crazy. You can say you don't believe me. It doesn't matter. But this is where I'm coming from. I was taken out of my body when I didn't know anything. In a dream. Because I thought a plane was crashing. And everyone on the plane was screaming and panicking. I thought it was real. And I was taken. I later found out in 2011. Actually, 2011, yeah. I want to be sure that it was the Missouri River goddess, Maria Orsic, who took me and who gave me this whole dream. And it was quite a fucking dream. I mean, I went to outer space. And this is where it was absolutely, for me, an eyewitness thing, an eyewitness experience of knowing that we're in a technological, super beyond words kind of thing. And, it took, I had the dream in 2001. Or was it 2000? It might have been 2000. Yeah, I guess it was 2000. And I didn't understand it till 2011 when Maria, not only did she explain the dream to me, but she also had me re-experience the part of the dream I couldn't remember, the beginning. You know, you ever remember, if you've ever noticed, no dream has a beginning. Don't you think that's a clue? No dream has a beginning. I challenge you, go inside yourself and figure it out. But I know, let me tell you this too, I know it's going to take you 50 times longer to figure it out if you won't, if you refuse like a child to call upon the plants and the mushrooms. They're the other living beings. There's humans, animals, plants, and mushrooms. There's nothing else. You can make shit up in your head, and that's boring to us. Schizophrenia is boring. Schizophrenia, let me say it again, is boring. And you need, obviously, you need to get away from the white-coated black magicians with their synthetic pills, first of all. And you need to stop listening to everyone who believes in the material bullshit pharmacological thing, right? And you need to realize that you can't create a Frankenstein that's going to supernaturally help you. Do you hear me? You're not that powerful. You're not God over anything but yourself. And your true self allowed you to get this fucked up. Why? It signed a contract. It made an agreement. It made a vow. You might not keep them, but your true self does. And little do you know, but the moment you die, you'll realize that this is some kind of contracted, digital virtual reality thing, and that you're looking pretty foolish, making up shit, and just you're traumatized. Like I had a very powerful prophetic. I don't know if I should use that word, but very supernatural. That's the word I'm looking for. Word from my very special sister of AMOR. And I just want to say this. Like, if I sound like I'm mad, it's because people are suffering, because of our lack, our wasting time, our taking our time with these things like it's not a normal, ordinary time. We're totally, it's like, with a sports analogy, we're in the overtime. It could end at any moment. It's going to end in America with, let me tell you what's going to end, how it's going to end in America. Just fuck what I said before. I mean, because it's not going to matter when this happens. In reality, the decapitation strikes that Israel is doing, they did on Lebanon, they did on Hezbollah, and they did it over and over in Gaza and Palestine, whole Palestine. They did it in Iran, and let me tell you, they're going to do it to America and Britain and shit. And somehow, some way, right before their eyes, they're going to try to say the Muslims did it. They're going to say the Muslims, studied the shit, and they did it back to us. And now we're in a war of civilizations. And what am I trying to say? Do you hear me? From that day on, when those terrorists, so-called, quote, terrorist attacks take place, we will be praying to our ancestors and our gods of some way to get out of the lockdown in America. Because your own internal, your own internal intelligence, death squad, process church, Satanist military has got a secret plan on a decapitation strike on itself as a way to unite everyone in a war of civilizations. The same kind of war they had, and they're totally, completely using this as a Hollywood flash to the followers of it. That this is like the fight for survival for Christianity. The same way it fought the pagans and killed the pagans. Today, Christians are honoring their ancestors by fighting and killing the Muslims. Do you hear me? Are you with me? Are you for Jewish supremacy? You're going to have to ask yourself that when they control and own your country. Are you for religious supremacy? That's what I'm talking about, algorithm. I'm not talking I'm talking about the principle of your, it's funny, anything that says it's supreme, it's always themselves that are saying they're supreme. So it's your opinion. You're willing to die for your opinion that you're supreme. You know, that's how much of a fuck you are. You know, from all races, everyone that thinks like that, it's because you're a cunt. Because you're a fucking cunt. You're a talentless, fucking meaningless, fucking dumb ass cunt. And the gods of this world are gonna come and pull your card. They are gonna come and pull your card. Sorry about that. Fucking. Believe me, we're operating over here in St. Lucifer, Missouri, on whatever. I'm not complaining. Sorry about the noise. I probably can't edit that out. I have so much going on. I probably can't remember. But you know, that was a prayer to the true self. And on this Maria B Day, let's just breathe, you know, remember. We've got to remember what we forgot. Right? And remember what? Well, see, I say this because my life is like I don't know what you would call it, an expression. It's a collaboration between me and Maria, and it's her expressing herself. But just real quick, you know, I assume people knew what I was talking about, the dream that Maria gave me. Well, I was taken to outer space, and I was taken like completely from what I could see to outer space. And strangely, my first, and this was in 2000, very strangely, my first impression was, this is not real. It was very beautiful, but it was computer graphics beautiful. There was something up. And Maria later said to me, Aryan means there's no life where there's no air. I was like, whoa. I was like, so you're saying in the very word Aryan is saying like there's nothing but air we need. I mean, it's such common sense. Motherfucker, you wouldn't be alive without oxygen. And you're like, oh, but I'm very absolutely sure that there's lots of life out there without oxygen. Right? I know, because you don't value the motherfucking oxygen you're breathing right now. Because all you love is money. You're insane. You've been driven insane by this Jewish religion. You know? Where does it end? Where does it end? Does it end with Christians rounding up everyone that doesn't agree with them? You know? Look at them turn on each other, too. And you got Ronald McDonald Trump running around making a joke of all the death and misery. And right in front of your eyes wide open, he just takes your tax money and just gives it to his friends. He just gives it to his friends. He just takes it right from you and gives it. I was saying earlier this day, modern slavery. Modern slavery set the captives free. Modern slavery. We want humanity. Modern slavery. Set the captives free. Modern slavery. And, what I was doing before I got all caught up was I was trying to tell everyone how much me and Lou, we've been doing this from, Maria says, since April. Since the beginning of April. 5 days a week. And we're like a little team. Maria is the leader. She's the manager. Because she's way more organized than me. She is very nice about everything. If you're, benefiting from this, give Maria the true thank you. If you think this really is Maria, then you are connecting with her. You know what I mean? Like she said, believe me, Joe, I do lots of magical things. I know lots of people, but she told me this. If people want to know, you could say this is how crazy you are. But she told me this for sure. There's only one conscious me, and I'm here right with you right now. And I am telling my story. Not just through you, but unconsciously through a plan that you and I developed through years of working together and you growing up in my house as my son. This is our collaboration. Your very life is. And, I've told the story, the reason why. This is, people who know my story and know Mindy, I've been talking a long time about the very first thing that happened to me was I see my friend who died. He gave me a whole rundown of what happens after you die. And then I seen a memory of what I didn't know it in any way. It was called this, but a magic marriage. To my wife, Joey, and to our wife, our magic wife, Mindy, and tell me how this all makes sense. Or it's so blatantly real that it's not really left to interpretation. Like, I didn't have to interpret it because, for real, if you can hear me, it's how you learn that's so important. You know everything. Everything you're learning, you already know before you came here. It's how you're learning it. I thought I learned great and valuable things as a Rasta. They were nothing. I swear to you. I thought I had learned great and had powerful experiences as a Christian, but they were nothing. Those dreams of Jesus meant nothing once I understood there is no Jesus that way. So who was this dude? I came to that realization. And those dreams as a Christian kept me inspired and shit because they were so powerful. And then I come to find out they were not from God. They weren't even from Jesus. The dude never said his name was Jesus ever. I come to know the man who gave me the dreams. And his son. The son, S-U-N, of the God, Lucifer, who's a man. You understand? Can we fucking hammer that home anymore? This is a creative person, and that's how they become a god. Is because they have these super great abilities to concentrate and imagine internal worlds. And I know that might sound fucking woo-woo to you, but God killing his son should repulse you. And you should say, there ain't no way that's true. Like Thomas Paine. Do you know who Thomas Paine is, you dumb-ass Americans? He wrote the Constitution, you idiots. I'm speaking with our people, not to you. Believe me. Believe me, you know, the people who appreciate this, I am so with you against the culture that is literally like putting a knife to our necks as pagans. This Charlie Kirk Christian revival bullshit, let me tell you, people who like magic life, who like pleasure even, they're going to come against everything fun. They're going to blame marijuana. They're going to say, you know why America got so fucked? Because the lefties are all hippies. The radical left, the woke, you know what? They're gonna just come with the biggest campaign of everything woke is anti-God. And listen, I don't even know what people mean by woke. It's just like all of a sudden become an official, you know, trademark title. But at the same time, so if they're the woke, you're the sleeping? I mean, Magical Crowley's giving us this paradigm, right? I mean, are you on the same side? Of course you are, but in the paradigm, you're opposite the woke and the Christian sleepers. Go back to sleep, dumbass Christians. Go to church and go to sleep. But make sure you pay your tithe. Make sure and the building fund and the missionary fund. Okay? Please give. I mean, we're trying to make you feel guilty. I mean, did you masturbate this week? Then you better give even more. I mean, that's the worst thing you could ever do. It's free. God damn, who's going to make money off that? You know, God requires 10% from you. Your dog, man. Your dog's collecting up, nigga. And, you know, I love all the working people give money to their church and tend their tithe and shit, while us other poor people, you give nothing whatsoever. You know, I'm talking about the upper middle class, you know, business owner class. I was once in one of these prosperity churches. No fucking lie. They were like, everyone who owns a business, we're going to pray for a special anointing to come upon all the business owners here. And I'm not kidding. Half the fucking prosperity church went down there. And I looked at the other half of the people that were left, and I thought, oh, so we're the slaves, and these are our managers. These are the proud managers of the slaves. We own the business that enslaves you. You're like, well, we try to pay good wages, you know. But see, you don't get it. The problem is, to own a business is to give your fucking life to it, and you can't be a spiritual person. You can't be a good person because you own a business. I mean, that's America. That's your dumbass culture. That's your Christian culture. Money above everything. 10% over here. Don't you feel guilty? You better go to confession. Right? And we're bringing you the CHRISTESS-MAS. Merry CHRISTESS-MAS, everyone. For the Christess has returned. On her 1935 started and finished, 1937 built UFO that flies according to vibrations through the fingertips that are connected to the pineal gland and pituitary gland, and literally guide the UFO, the steel and metal and nuts and bolts, they might say, out of the atmosphere, out of the oxygen. And that line, Joseph, that I brought you past in outer space, right? She said, Joe, that line is another dimension. That's why from that line on, everything looked fake. Because behind that fake, what you're seeing was the actual real world. And the voice that spoke to you and said, this is the judgment that has been agreed upon against your family for how they treated you, against your city for how they treated you, against your state for how they treated you, and against your nation for how they treated you and everyone like you, right? That was done in a space with no oxygen, because the oxygen was in that other world where that voice was coming from. And like Maria later said, you see, I was holding you because someone was holding me from behind, and I never could see who it was. And I even at one point tried to feel the hand, and the other hand like grabbed me and like wouldn't let me. And the being, the little being, was supernaturally powerful. And my proof to the motherfuckers out there, my proof, this is really, I mean, I have very many witnesses to this, including my friend whom I was going to fly on an airplane to see in the morning. And that's why I dreamed it. And I kind of took it like I shouldn't take the plane, that it was going to crash. But somewhere in me, I knew not to take it literal. That it was something very, very deep, right? And it was all explained to me, 20 years later, that where I was taken was somewhere real, but my eyes were not, supposed to see it. So they were made not to be able to see it. And all I seen was black. And a screen appeared upon me. I mean, in front of me. A literal, screen, like LED, regular TV screen, sort of. But it was just, I was in complete black space. So it just appeared. And Maria's like, go ahead, I want you to talk about this. And so a voice, it was like the person that was holding me by my arms, by my shoulders and arms, like turned me towards the voice. And when I heard the voice, the screen appeared and the voice said to me, Joseph, my son, you've been chosen this day to see this. This is the future. And this is judgment. And he even said, I'm the God of this world. I'm the one who makes the final decision. And I even thought, Yahweh? Because this is when I was a Christian. And he said, look. And his voice was very powerful, very clear, but it wasn't like that or anything. And literally, instantly was a screen. And I never could remember. Whatever it was really astonished me. And I was just like in complete disbelief. And I was like heartbroken. Like, how could they ever think that about me? How could they? And he, all of a sudden, I forgot what was happening, because I was like living in these new memories, I guess they would be, because they were actual things happening. And he said, Joseph, turn away. Because this is because this was all the things to do with my literal family. And he was like, I'm the God of this world. And this is the judgment that's been decreed upon them. It's not your choice, it's balance. It's what they deserve. It's the only way they'll learn, And I was just, to this day, I don't know what it was. It was almost like, it was also powerful that it put them in a traumatic, delusionary mental state or something. It was like they became zombies. That's what happened, and I was very shaken and stunned. And he was like, look, Joseph, this is the judgment decreed against your city. And I saw all these black people so pissed off and fighting with the police and burning down buildings. And I started seeing like the energy behind it. And I was like, they're being deceived. They're being used by somebody. And it started to like break my heart, make me emotional. Like, dude, poor people are so dumb. Like, what are they going to do? Fight with each other, And I'm getting all upset, and I'm there. This is down the street from my house, and this is no lie. I lived in Ferguson, Missouri, and this was 13 years before Michael Brown and the Ferguson riots. And I explained on my friend's radio show in 2000 that, literally in my dream, that there was going to be like a world headline it'd be world news, a riot in Missouri, in Ferguson, Missouri. And to this day, he says, Joe, that was supernatural, no matter what anyone says. I was there and heard you say this. Many people did. There's many people. In the Christian world, this shit just gets lost with every other prophecy. There's but what's crazy is it came exactly true. And how that ended is I was getting so caught up in this screen, I was like living in it. And I was driving in my neighborhood that I lived in 2000. And I was like freaking out, I was like driving down towards the riot. And and I wasn't mad at the people, I was mad at the police. But I thought the whole thing was fake also. I was like, this is just a bait and switch thing. They bait and switched with Michael Brown. They probably just threw him in a van and executed him. And then they just staged this whole scene from there on. The rest of it was just Hollywood production. Like the witnesses, seeing a black guy, wrestling with the cop. And that was probably just a acting scene. They don't like to take chances. They want everything orchestrated. That's ritual magic. That's ceremonial magic. What you're watching is a grand last ceremony to end the entire human race. Like it or not. And this is no lie. For real. That was in 2000, and it ended. I was in it because it was it was like it wasn't my neighborhood. It was like, Ferguson's a fairly big, not big, but it's not tiny. Little city outside. It's crazy how the shit is in St. Louis. I guess it's considered its own city. But it's just really just a section of St. Louis. And, we were in my dream. Ferguson in 2000 was a very nice place. Very historical and old and shit. And we were we were renting my wife's grandfather's house, and it was old, but we really liked it. We wanted to buy it. And how this thing ended with the screen is I got to the riot, and I was like wanting really to join the protesters, and so I'm just coming up upon the protest, and I'll never forget. I can see it in my mind's eye. I can see a dream. I swear to you. I can see a dream. It was so powerful. I could see a dream that I had in 2000 right now in my mind's eye, clear as fucking bell. This black dude with dreadlocks, it was rioting, and I was just walking amongst the protesters. He was obviously fucked up on some kind of drugs or something. And he's swinging this 2x4 around, this big, hard-ass board, And he kind of starts charging at the protesters, And I was just stunned at what was happening, and then all of a sudden he just turned towards me and just ran at me and swung this thing at me. And it was like right as it was about to hit me, like I realized that I was just watching the screen in this dream that I didn't know was a dream. And my heart was beating all fast, and the screen disappeared. And the screen, and then the voice said, "And Joseph, my son, this is the judgment upon your state." And it was like seeing a farm commercial. I was seeing like farmer fields and, John Deere tractors, spraying fucking Roundup or whatever. And I'm seeing like aerial views of farm fields, and all of a sudden I just see the word Monsanto. And in the dream, while I was being sand, I went, "They're poisoning the food." And this is every one of these low vibrational diseases like allergies. This is immune problems. This has all been manufactured by German traitor Nazi scientists as a new technological form of population control and, controlling the masses from rebelling against 47% tax on everything, total. Right? It's a grand Zionist conspiracy. Let me tell you what I was seeing on this judgment on Missouri. I seen like a elementary school sort of cartoon. It was like the Capitol building, like the government gives money to the church, whose base, whose power is good old boy America. Good old farmer boy. Literal families of the most powerful farms, food in America. So the government's giving money to the church to shut up, and I'm seeing this. I'm seeing this equation to shut up about the good old farmer boy. And I didn't really get it at first, and I was seeing this equation: government, church, good old farmer boy. Government, church, farmer. Right? And a voice literally said to me, "Because they love money, I gave them over to their greed." The data, this is what the voice said to me. The farmer knew that the data showed that the GMO crops that he would now be growing for the government, see the government giving money to the church, giving money to the farmer, the government giving money to the farmer, giving money to the church. Church giving money to the government, giving money to the farmer, giving money to the church. Government giving money to faith-based institutions, giving money to the good old boy, giving money and sending their sons and daughters to the U.S. military to do the worst things that a human being can do. This is called the farming military government complex. It's an industry of its own, right? And I heard this. The government is giving money to the pastors to never speak about what GMO foods do to children. And see, the good old boy farmer had been to college by now, and he wasn't dumb. He wanted to know, what's this food? Is this food good for people? What kind of nutrition? He said, I see right here off the bat, it lacks nutrition that natural corn does. Because they were about to make their great gluten-free switch to the worst food ever, because they knew people were going to figure out about wheat. So they're like, hey, we put this gluten-free shit in everything. And I'm telling you right now, there is a powerful curse upon the people who did this, and like the bill has come due to Allah, Lucifer. And when the judgment is executed, they're going to try to blame them, it's going to be an internal. Let me tell you where this is going. I for the life of me, I can't remember the name of the goddamn book. Maybe it will come to me. There's several books. It's AMOR. I remembered the author at least. And several of his books end with like psycho maniacs who love the smiley face. Ending the entire world, this sort of suicidal Samson option. Everybody knows about the Samson option, right? If you don't know about that, look up Israel nuclear weapon Samson option. It is this, that they say, hey, we secretly got enough weapons to end the whole world. And if you nuke any part of Israel, and we think that we're going to be nuked, we will nuke the whole world. And this is where we come upon. So you see the judgment on America, it was brought on you by white Christian America, or white Christian Republican America, farmer, good old boy. You can trust a good old Christian. Yeah, you can trust him because he would kill his son if he had to. For money. Right. Right. And all the while. So, okay, check this out. When it switched, okay, then that screen disappeared when I understood GMO food and allergies and lifelong immune system problems shit is literally worse than living in hell. Shane McGowan of the Pogues has a line in one of his songs. He says, I wish to hell I was living in hell. Meaning, this is way worse than hell. He was trying to tell people, I've been there, nigga. And hell is a hell of a lot better than this. Absolutely. And sorry, I don't mean to laugh at myself. It's stupid and rude. I try not to, but also, this is part bad comedy at the same time. But when that screen switched to country, it's kind of like my mind don't want to switch yet. I was all of a sudden shocked into the reality of what America has personally, the level of despair and misery that this monster death machine, military death machine called America has brought upon people. I actually kind of screamed. Like a girl, not on purpose. It was like, dude, I thought I was, one of the most dedicated researchers in the fucking history of the world. And all of a sudden, and I did know a lot about how evil these secret DARPA programs, MK Ultra, everything else they were doing. I was very informed, put it that way. And something in the vibration of what I was seeing, the treachery, the traitor, how deep of a traitor this secret group was that was behind the American military death machine. And the dumbass public that supported it. I'm not kidding. I screamed like a girl. Because I seen again a equation. And it was like the probable cause equation. And it was like all these people who had lost their children, lost their mothers, lost their sisters, lost their grandmothers, their grandfathers. They were on one side going, why? Why did we have to suffer? Why did you do this to us, to America? I was seeing this equation of like, what is actual justice? God damn, it's so apparent, But it was becoming very real to me. It was becoming very real to me that, like, these Muslim women, you think they're having a real great time? Under all these clothes and shit. Whether they want to or not, but the like freedom that you have and I have, and like, I just don't. I'm in the real fucking world. I believe what I believe about what life is about, and obviously these people are like scared of Allah, scared of God. And they're completely not to blame with any of this. So I was seeing this equation. And I seen like aircraft carriers and sophisticated jets and computerized weapons and all these white and black, people, young people that were controlling all this death machinery, going after, boring religious people in fucking dressed like nuns. And I wanted to throw up, man. If I could have thrown up in the astral space, I would have. I was like, again. This voice, it was saying to me, Joseph, we're counting on you. We're watching you. We're watching your reaction to the truth, like this is the truth. These are average, everyday Muslim people, have no say in their future. No, they absolutely are disenfranchised. They don't believe they can affect things. They don't believe they can stop dressing like nuns. They don't believe they're beautiful. They don't believe they're sexy. And you're going to turn around and drop. And it made me just scream at the top of my lungs. And, this was after 9/11. And it was like 6 months after 9/11. And I was just like, this is too much. I mean, I in this dream that Maria constructed with Lou, it was an actual experience, I just lost control and just started screaming, no, 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 no. And what I was seeing was nuclear explosions. And I knew it was like Iran, Syria, Jordan, like all, the Bible places. And I seen it was like one out of control thing from the next. In my scream, I was seeing that equation, and I was like, if there's any justice in any place in this world, there's no other answer. It was just pure instinct. I was like, punish America for doing this. Truly, it is a tragic story. I mean, it's like Maria said, we're kind of living in the future, but I mean literally in sort of the energy of what's going to happen here. And truly, I mean, it is tragic that in a way this system, this AI, system of mind control, God, family, country, we're not going to quit saying it until you either believe it or not believe it. And if you don't believe, if you believe in any of that, that means you don't believe that you're in a holographic universe. That's what it means. So you don't believe the premise of what we're saying, and you believe, no, this is the real world. Let me tell you, that's 50 million times worse than what I'm saying, and you're the bad vibe. I mean, thank the gods that's not true. Because, brothers and sisters, really, in the, let me just change gears for a second and just say what me and Maria have been doing for the last year. I haven't missed a ritual in over, maybe 2 years, So every Saturday night, and for over a year, we have very much been concentrating on healing one person at a time. And like Maria, this might not sound right to you, but this has to do with sex magic energy. And we're not ashamed to say that. We don't like that word, sex. It's earthling-ish, it's doctor-ish. But I don't know. We don't know what else to say. But anyway, I am watching Maria Orsic be the true healer on an entirely other level that I never knew was possible as a Christian or anything, or as a person who is seeking healing for his own self, I've never seen anything like it. It is really is magic, and it's not like I can put it into words. But the words I would put it into, like suspend your normal connection to these words. In our world, the word worship, like she said, it's sort of World War II-ish. It's like what you would send your warship to protect. And the warship most likely is going to be destroyed because it's like the outer barrier that's protecting something. I mean, this is the deep love. This is the meaning of a deep, deep love for someone. Like I can just speak of a couple weeks ago. There's a sister that I knew. I haven't talked to in years. Probably 8, 9, 10 years. I don't know. But just Saturday night, Maria was like, she's very special. I've told you before that we knew her before she came here, and that's why she played a important part in the grand scheme of things. She's like, she needs us. She needs us to bring her some vril. She needs us to bring her some love. She needs us to come to her in person and tell her how much we love her, how she's smart and beautiful and worthy of our worship, that we love her voice, we love her eyes and her hair, and is what Maria was saying. And while she was saying, I was just like, you're right, she's such a special person. It's unbelievable how, I don't know, it's just crazy how the world is to me. And it's almost, I want to say like a spiritual massage. But like Maria said, it is a complete pleasure package. That's how you heal someone. By replacing the polarities, the opposites. See, what is the opposite of beautiful? Is it ugly? Is it perfect? Is beautiful perfect? No. Matter of fact, perfect is not beautiful. Perfect is arrogant. And like Maria's saying right now, like there's a very important principle that Jamaicans, Rastas talk about. Who feels it knows it, And see, some people with their flaws make them beautiful because their flaws make them feel it and know it. And they didn't do it on purpose. They didn't volunteer to suffer. They weren't able to not suffer. They weren't able to completely disconnect from the collective. And though it might wear thin, though it might be surface, there still is a collective, right? But let us speak in esoteric terms, right? And Just let them resonate with you. The distinction, the collective we're talking about, there's a very general meta collective, right? It should tell you some people are very evil. But the collective we're talking about, on Venus we call it the collective of the white light. And it's a literal governmental, which means AI categorizing way. It doesn't take away your freedom, it gives you freedom, actually. I know that's hard to understand, but that's how the future is. It's not bad. It's very good, actually. Right? But this technology, it's enabling you, as I said, to categorize and distinguish people. So the initiation of the white light, it comes from when you have a frequency match readout, when you have a DNA essence readout. There are groups, magical groups, religious groups, whatever you want to call them, who absolutely base the group on the frequency and the points of match with people's frequency. There is a group as of such, a larger group. It may, like Maria's saying, it's made up of 3 different castes. And like Maria said, these are a lot of our friends, a lot of our people that we know come from this. And it's called the white light. Because like a rainbow, there is it's just as simple as there's a governmental, scientifically, provided to you readouts of frequency technology, the technology that reads in a person's essence. And also contains all the records of how essence doesn't change, how it is eternal. No one's changing. Like when we talk about fundamental change, we're talking about the avatar changing back into the true self, because now the mission's over. And let me tell you, feminine America, why don't you have goddesses? Where's the goddess of the river? Where's the goddess of the mountain? Where's the goddess of the mother womb of the cave? Cave state, the Missouri cave state, the Ozark Mountains of the Oz Age Indians, right? Little woman, you need the big, giant, powerful mushrooms to expand your consciousness, right? And, what is to come? What is to come? Well, let me tell you this. I tried to make it clear. I have a video called Miguel Serrano is a God. And all the godless people around me went on with no gods. They're like, I ain't got time for that. Who's this Miguel Serrano guy? Oh, this is your latest hero. Well, it just so happens If you're one of our people and you want to go home, if you're sick of this place, you're sick of this life, you're sick of this fucking vibration, and you don't want to keep repeating it over and over and over and over and over again, let me guarantee you this. You know, the universal message to everyone we care about is you're not getting out of here without the help of the gods who are actually imagining reality. And you might say, well, why do they let anything bad happen? Because they're not God. Nothing is. That's the whole point. They're men and women like you. What they can do is imagine things. And the whole reason for allowing evil to manifest itself at full authenticity, the reason to allow evil full manifestation, the full manifestation of evil, is the actual reason you are here. To experience what has basically been completely abolished on Venus. And like Maria said to me many times, it's sort of the ultimate test for a spiritual person back on Venus. And we don't really like the word spiritual, but in its most basic sense, a person that wants to be more than physical. There's physical. The Venusian body's physical. It's just made out of a different physical stuff, but it's still physical. Like Maria said, there's people who are only into working out, self-help, all the shit that's here that is not spiritual. Sports and games. And everything that's not within you. Like Maria said, there's a very clear, distinguishing line between frequency vibrational people who live materialistically, games, shit that, like Maria said, doesn't mean anything to me. She's like, Joe, if me and you played checkers, we'd be playing like this. Okay. We have a decision. Should we have a ritual? Should the ritual start at 12 or 3? Okay, Joseph, this is what I get. We're to play a game of checkers. If I win, it starts at 12. If you win, it starts at 3. Do your best. Honest. Pinky swear to be on. You know what I mean? We would use it as divination. Now, would we play a game that took 3 hours where you knock people's heads off and shit, and you have to train your whole life? Do you understand? You understand it's a different kind of person? Not all people are the same. Look at me. I'm not you. Our people have to say that to the world. Look at me. I will not conform to your new world order. So I'm not you, because you do. You're like, what do you mean? Well, you just ignore everything spiritual altogether. Put it in a little box and say that's weird woo-woo shit. And you love the unmagical life. The only prayer you pray is, I pray that they can come back and win this game. What a story it would be. But on this Mary CHRISTESS-MAS, the shamaness of the new year, the shamaness that was born this day, who carried the magical dance upon her shoulders. She's the living, beautiful truth that sets us free from watching her beautiful legs dance. And on Maria's birthday, she gives you these magical gifts. Rada, read, my children, I project that R rune to you that says within you, you are your moral law, and thou shalt not let anyone make you feel guilty. Live by your inner code, be true to it, and let no one ever make you feel guilty. Our people, you must say, do what thou wilt, of course. You think I need you to tell me to seek my own happiness? You think I need you to tell me to pursue my own happiness? Don't talk to me like I'm a slave. And the six-pointed star. What does the six-pointed star really mean? In AMOR, love without death. It means, my love, I want you to guard the center of the world within yourself, because that will make you Lordess of the universe. Right? Complete woman. You are the goddess of your inner universe, and you are the goddess of your AMOR. You're literally the eternal goddess of the AMOR. And your AMOR says to you, fucking guard the center of the world within you, because this will make you ruler of yourself. Know yourself. It will make you know yourself. Be true to the center within you and guard it from everyone besides the AMOR. And then, of course, we were talking about the Oz Age Indians. What is the Oz Age? It's the age where women teach their sons that the power of your true self-essence makes you free in this world. As above, so below, if you're true to yourself. And what is Thor? What is that hammer? That hammer is in defense of the true self. Once you know the true self, you must defend your true self to the bitter end, to the death. If you're white European, the runes are 10 times more magical in connection. Pray to your true self right before picking a rune. But they're 10 times the connection than the tarot cards. You need to look at the runes every day. Just look at them first. And then you'll realize who Isis is. Isis is this very definition times 2, double power. And that is the principle that if you will master yourself, you'll control your enemy. When you master yourself, you will literally, by controlling your enemy, will increase your power to pursue happiness, right? Isis pursued happiness even to the fact of making her own vibrator and enjoying it very, very much. Maria wants us to know how much she enjoyed it. Like she said, it might have been the best she ever had, just because you're in total control of it. That's your practical Scorpio mother, the greatest of all. And we'll leave you with this magical word from the great Sigrun, the beautiful Sigrun, whom we all worship at the throne of her pussy. She is so gorgeous. In any world, you would look at Sigrun and be like, she's a supermodel, right? She is. That face, that cat face, that Beautiful, beautiful body. Siggy, like Maria's saying right now, is 2 inches taller than me, girls. She's a little longer than me. And her hair is a little longer than mine. And a little darker than mine. And she has brown eyes. She's so beautiful. She is Isis. She is our Isis. And she is our female goddess image burned in our mind. And what beautiful Siggy's beautiful mother's milk feeds us is this. My children, breed your own luck. Create your own luck. And you surely will have it. If you breed it, you'll have it. It's kind of an advanced, you reap what you sow. But let me tell you, let me call upon Siggy to touch us with her beautiful hands, to massage us into the ecstasy space, the gateways, the doors to the eternal orgasm.